BigHerc916. Positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know how we do it over here. I'm always talking about a lot of topics and things going on in society. I had to bring my man Akeem from Hindsight Radio back on. It's been a minute. Akeem, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How you doing for the new year?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Me and the wifey got some really interesting stuff we've been working on. I'm actually doing with her a children's book to try to instill some values in our young people. So trying to reach the really young kids, just life lessons I've learned. So we got a series we're working on with that. Just doing some stuff around with the family and just being really positive, man. And there's so many topics I want to get into. And like myself, I know you're very intellectual and you're really tuned into a lot of things. So a lot of times I have the conversation by myself, just talking to the camera, and I felt, why not bring somebody else on to have an exchange of dialogue to get another viewpoint? Because sometimes when people hear from somebody else, it resonates differently. So one of the things I heard people talking about, and I didn't watch it, was the Super Bowl, man. What do you think about the Super Bowl halftime performance?
It was awesome, man. It was like, I stopped being into sports years ago, but my buddy that I grew up with from New York invited me over to his house. He lives here in North Carolina where I live. So I went to watch it with him. I just to hang out, not so much to watch the game. I didn't care about who was winning the game, but I'm glad I went because that halftime show was a real treat. I think Kendrick Lamar is an absolute genius in how he presented his performance. They had them dressed up in red, white, and blue uniforms, and they had Samuel Jackson playing Uncle Sam's and, trying to, tone it down. Don't be so boisterous as a black youth in your message. The tone of how this country has always been to black folks, in that area where when we speak out, they want to keep our message, how do I want to put that? They want us to tone it down, whereas everyone else, when they got issues, they can speak as loud as they can and everybody's listening. But, but of course it went over a lot of people's heads. Then you saw the truth of a lot of people who claim to be, for everybody, that it came out that this performance. But I think it was a good performance, and I think it sent a message loud and clear. And, with the president was in the audience.
Trump was in the crowd?
Right. Yeah, he came. He was at the Super Bowl. Which I think it was all by design. Like, I don't think nowhere what they did had to be practiced, right?
Yeah.
So they had to know that was gonna be played. How he was going to present it, it was going to play. You had to practice all of the synchronization and all of that. That had to be practiced for weeks.
Yeah.
And for it to come down like it did, how he organized it. But it was a good show. I think it was a good show.
You think it was a positive more than a negative message?
I think it was more of a positive. Just say, hey, if you have a truth to speak it. I think it, and he called out, I think the most like epic and diabolical thing that he did was he looked right in the camera and called out Drake. Like, he looked with this smirk on his face. I said, what rap is always about this and, who can one up each other. That's just the culture of rap. And I didn't have a problem with that. This new rap where they're just talking about killing each other and stuff like that. I'm not into all of that. But, but the time when we grow up, you and I grew up, it was always dish rap. You say whoever got the best lyrics won. And that reminded me of that time, how he brought that out,
Okay. Well, I'm glad I got that perspective because I didn't watch it. I've heard like mixed opinions. I know, some people were saying that it was highly viewed and rated, but then it didn't necessarily resonate with everybody. And
of course,
so I know it's like, you're always going to get mixed reviews, but it's interesting to know that it did put out a message, and you said the message was positive, so I'm hoping it resonated with that positivity among other people.
Yeah.
As far as like the rap game, I was just talking with somebody the other day, and they mentioned that, back in the day, it was like play sports or rap was the way out of the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Rap is back in the hood. You know what I mean? It's not,
Right, right.
it's pulled kid. I mean, it used to be that you did that to create a better environment for your family and
Yeah, it was more of a right.
opportunities for your friends. Hey, Akeem, man, I made it. Come on, get up out of here. Let's go do this, and then if we can give back, we can help others. But you can only help those who want to be helped. But
Right.
it's like it's been hijacked, man. And which brings me to my next.
Let me just say something about that particular rap song. Well, he rapped about it, different songs in there, different pieces was rapped about. What Kendrick Lamar reminds me of the old school rappers, where
Okay.
you rapped about the times and what you're going through.
Okay.
So
yeah.
That's what it was. You had your guys like Rakim, Ice Cube, and all of them, and then you had KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions. Though that his rap is a mixture of that culture, where what's his name? Who was the Public Enemy? Remember Public Enemy? Chuck D, where he spoke consciously. And that's what Kendrick although he does get on a diss rant a lot, but when you really listen to his lyrics, it's very, to me, conscious in a lot of aspects of it. That takes me back, okay, I could get with listening to this. I may not agree with everything he's saying in there, but this other, opposed to what we listen to mumble rap, and these guys are just talking about getting high and calling women hoes and bees and strip clubs and just killing each other. That rap there is nothing but destructive.
Now, what do you think about the whole Crip Walk in the Super Bowl?
I think they said it wasn't. I didn't.
Serena. I heard Serena did the Crip Walk or the Sea Walk, right?
Yeah, she did a little bit, like a little skit in there, but
okay.
It didn't even resonate to me as a Crip Walk to me. They just was walking around and just.
So it wasn't like that was a big part of the performance.
No. You had to watch it. Just go watch it. You'll see. It wasn't a big part of the performance. And for anybody to highlight that means they weren't listening to what he was saying, because he strategically played different songs. Like he even played a song where it slowed down, and then Samuel Jackson came out and said, "Hey, that's right. That's what we want to hear right there." And then he flipped it on him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So Samuel Jackson was like, it was like, hey, you're too loud. And then he was like, kind of being the voice, dressed in as Uncle Sam. Hey, this is what we want to see from our black youths. You're doing it right. And then when he wasn't doing it right, wait a minute, what you doing? And it was the symbolism of it. You're doing it right there. The most watched event in the country at any time in front of the whole world. And when you go and watch the reactions to it, I saw a lot of white folks took positively to it. They're like, man, this was like, if you, like one guy said, Kendrick Lamar just shot a hole in DEI because the whole program was all black folks. So there was no inclusion. If you wanted to talk about it, there was white people. It was everybody that performed in it was black.
Yeah.
So there was no diversity, equity, inclusion in that. And then, one guy said, hey, more power to him. And I saw a lot of positive reaction from more of on the white folks than I did from our own people. Other people, I was like, these guys wasn't paying attention. They were just looking at, the cosmetics of it all.
Okay.
And, and I could tell, you got to remember, a lot of people are not studying past the news. They hear what the news say, and that's all. That's their whole narrative. That's all they know is what the news is telling them.
16. Contact me for life coaching and motivational speaking. Never settle for average. Go to BigHerc916.com to pick up a limited edition GTA poster signed by me for $10, or with your purchase of a Wig Splitter Porsche t-shirt, I'll throw in a free poster signed by me for you.